Well, I wanted to make a Lions video because there's been so much interesting stuff with the Detroit Lions so far through 3 games. I'd made a couple videos already, but I made one about how I didn't think Hutchinson's 3-sack performance was quite as dominant as the stats might suggest. I talked about how good their offense was playing, but also said had some negatives there. So I said, okay, let's make a positive video. What's a good positive video I can make? Oh, I know. Let's make one about Jeff Okudah. He's played great this season, right? And I think that that's somewhat true. He has had a good start. That part is definitely true, and he's looked like a solid cornerback, but there are some people saying he's living up to the number 3 overall pick. I'm not quite sure I'm willing to go that far just yet. I think he has a lot to do if he wants to be like a true number 1 corner. He did get beat a lot, and we are going to talk about that at the first part of this video, but then we're going to talk about the positives, because I would say that he's been good, maybe not quite elite yet, as some numbers might suggest. I think that, again, even though I'm a numbers guy, tape still is the key, and I think that there is still some times where he's getting beat on tape. So let's start off with this play. I'm just going to kind of show a series of plays where, listen, going up against great competition, right? This is Justin Jefferson, who is elite wide receiver in this league, and I think since people saw the lack of catches, they assumed it was Okudah shutting him down, but that was not always the case. See what happens here, where I'm not going to break down all of these plays. They're typically one-on-one matchups. I'll break down some of them in their entirety, but anyways, watch what happens. So right when this play begins, this one's actually zone coverage, so Okudah does have safety help, but you see how far the safety is playing back, and Okudah, I think very early on, is letting Jefferson go right here, which in my opinion is a mistake. That's not to say that, again, you cover him forever, but there's no eligible receiver on this side of the field. You do want to make sure that he is getting covered. I mean, it's Jefferson. You have to pay attention to him. As you see, Jefferson ends up getting wide open, and only by the grace of a deflected pass was that not caught for a first down. So again, not a big deal. Guys are going to get beat. Again, some people are going to say, why are you bringing up the negatives? I'm going to bring up the positives. But listen, got to talk about it all. I'm telling you what I saw on film. A play like this, where you see where Jefferson and Okudah are on the field. This time it is going to be man coverage, and watch what happens. As you see, it's, again, a good route. Jefferson beating Okudah. That's what he does. Justin Jefferson is great, but that was Okudah losing in coverage right here, but a high throw resulted in an incompletion. So it makes his statistics look great if you just care about how much yards and catches you've given up. But if you look at, some other types of statistics that get a little bit more into this stuff, you see that he's been, solid, but not great. One like this, which, again, apologies about the poor quality. It gets a little bit better. I don't know why occasionally on plays on the All-22 it gets like this. I don't know what to do about it. I don't know if it's a me thing or a them thing, but this just happens. However, you see the route that Okudah is going to cover against this man coverage, the single safety deep coverage, and watch what happens. As you see, Okudah he's okay with getting beat to the inside a little bit there. I understand the logic because you do have a safety coming in, but he's too far away, and it's Jefferson beating him too quickly to where, instantly on that play, they were able to make a completion. Didn't go for a ton of yards. You'll take those plays typically when you're one-on-one against Jefferson. So again, these are not I'm not showing these to say, look at how bad he sucks. No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying he's gotten beat. He has not been perfect. And one more play is going to be this one where, again, that's the one-on-one matchup. There is going to be safety help over the top. And when the play begins, Okudah tries to create some contact. Doesn't really slow Jefferson down too much. And at this point, you see, again, how open Jefferson is. Now, to Okudah's credit, I would say, he does a very good job of knowing when he has help deep, and he's more okay with getting beat deep than he is shallower here. So this way, I think he's actually going to rebound nicely once he does get beat by a couple steps. Look, he is going to end up covering this relatively well, but those are still things that I watch on tape and say, yeah, that's working now. I don't know if it's going to continue to work. There's a bit of a concern there for me with Okudah. So because of that, that's where I start to just start to wonder. Yes, he's not giving up yards now, but how long is that going to last? I have some questions. Now let's go over to this play. So now we're through the negatives. Thank you for all the Lions fans that stuck around to get to this point. We are in the negatives. We're into positives now, and we're going to talk about something very similar to what happened there. Look at how on this play, Okudah, again, does kind of get beat deep a little bit. And, you freeze frame it at this spot. It doesn't look like it's too great, but keep in mind, to me, this is a lot better because you're not getting beat nearly as much. He didn't get beat as quickly, and you, again, like that last play, you have safety help over the top. So these are the kind of plays that Okudah is okay with getting beat deep on, and, Okudah isn't the fastest corner. He's not the slowest either, but the guy didn't run a 4.3 or anything like that. So it is possible to run by him. But with safety help over the top, he can kind of be okay with that because he's unlikely to get beat other ways. And as you see, I mean, it ends up being perfectly covered and the ball goes somewhere else, but it was a good play. To me, the reality is on a play like that where the safety, he didn't get beat until the safety could have potentially come into a play. So the only way that was going to be a completion is if it was thrown on a go route relatively late into the play, but at that point, the safety could take over. Because, going over to a play like this, there's some legitimately really impressive plays from Okudah. Like, right here, it's, again, you have safety help over the top. So, a go route, probably not going to do too much here. And he's going up against, Jefferson right here. So, this is the stuff that excites you about the potential of Okudah and makes you say, hey, maybe this guy isn't some washed up, or not really washed up, but some bust who can't get it done. Because, again, you think about his career, this is a guy who, had a really rough first season in a Matt Patricia defense, which is understandable. And then he played one bad game last year before getting injured. So it's not like this is completely out of the blue that he could have been successful. There was still a reason to talk about it, although I understand why most and even myself kind of, gave up on him. But watch this play and watch how he really is just going to stick with Jefferson this entire time to where, even if that was a perfect throw, which it wasn't, it would have taken a good catch for Jefferson to be able to make that completion. Listen, on a great throw and great catch, oftentimes you'll find a way to get a completion, but that's your job as a corner, is force them to make a great throw and a great catch. They're rarely going to do that, and that's exactly what Okudah did there. This was a really good play from Okudah, in my opinion, and those are the highlights. And even one more play, we'll go over to this one. So what's going to happen here is it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. There's no safety help here. So a lot of these plays I'm showing, hey, there's help deep, which I do think is the right way to deal with Okudah, is to give him help deep. But this is going to be a go route against Jefferson. And look, as you see, again, if this throw was put in the perfect spot, could that be a completion? Potentially. It also wasn't a go route, it was a curl route, but started like it was a go route. And could that have been potentially a completion if it was a go route and a well-thrown ball? Yeah, it could have been. But again, Okudah does have pretty good ball skills. Even the Matt Patricia year, he had pretty good ball skills. So it does not feel like a given whatsoever. So as a whole, I do feel good about Okudah. Okudah's a solid corner at the very least, it seems, which is awesome. At the end of the day, cornerback, it's less about, in the secondary, it's less about getting a couple stars and more about just not having a weakness. And so a guy like that, just being good, really helps you a lot. I do think some of the hype has been a bit overblown because he was such a, hyped up prospect, and some of the numbers I think are a bit misleading, but I still think he's played very well. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.